version. Now, if my assistants were here, they would say, Dr. Petrie, it doesn't taste good. I don't taste it. It doesn't have a taste, but it does have an odor. Now you have to think about it. It's good bacteria. Come on. Bacteria does smell, so I'm not going to lie to you. It smells. No, you won't have bad breath. No, you won't have bad breath. But to compensate, choose a better meal and then choose a good. But what you can do is you can put the drops in orange juice or apple juice or your water, and that disguises the taste. Yes, ma'am.
Where you spoke about the exercise.
Yes.
Are we going to find out how long you should exercise? How to know if you're doing too much of an exercise?
That will be on our last class.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I have a lot of neck problems,
Yes.
but I have always thought that it was stress, and I'd go and have a massage a lot. And I had tests, and the doctors couldn't find why, my neck, and I bought hundreds of pillows. And so, having massages all the time, is that a danger, and not knowing that it's the nervous system?
I wouldn't say it's a danger in having the massage. What the danger comes into not diagnosing the cause of the neck pain. You have to find out why that neck pain is there. The massage is supposed to be able to relax you. Like I said, we all have stresses. Everyone has those weeks whereby it's like, oh, need a massage. Okay. But if it's neck problems, you have to find out what it is that's causing the pain. If the massage could take care of the pain, then you would no longer have the pain, right? Right. So I'm not saying that because I have massage therapists that massage patients in my office. So there's nothing against the massage, but you have to find out what's causing it, right? And through an evaluation, it can determine if it is due to interference within your nervous system.
So like I had x-rays done, and the x-rays didn't find anything.
Who read your x-rays?
My PC, primary care physician.
All right, let me just explain something. Each doctor has their scope of practice. When a medical doctor or a doctor of osteopathy, for example, some doctors of osteopathy, and I take this with tongue in cheek because there are medical doctors that are well versed in misalignments in the spine, and there are doctors of osteopathy that are well versed in misalignments in the spine, and they would know to go ahead and refer that person to a chiropractor. But for the most part, when your primary care physician looks at your x-rays, he or she is looking to see, do you have any broken bones? Do you have any pathology? So does this person have cancer? Or is there an accumulation of fluid somewhere or something? If the person does not see that, then it will come back as there's nothing wrong. However, if a chiropractor were to look at that film, the chiropractor evaluates to see if everything is in its correct position. Is it aligned correctly? Because if it's not aligned correctly, the weight of a dime on a nerve can cause significant nerve damage. And a dime is not heavy at all. But the weight of a dime on a nerve can cause significant nerve damage. So if that spine is not in its correct position, then an individual is going through with abnormal body mechanics. So once you correct that abnormality, then you see the difference in these symptoms. Yes, ma'am, you wanted to ask that question.
I wanted to ask about diverticulitis.
Uh-huh.
I have diverticulitis, but my doctor had told me to take fiber, lots of fiber.
Lots of fiber.
But for the last couple of months, I've been experiencing severe pain. And I went to the health store, and they were telling me to take, don't do the fiber when I'm in pain. Do a magnet.
Well, first,
Yeah.
diverticulitis. Itis, any itis is inflammation, okay? So basically inflammation within the intestine, right? Now, here is something that you may want to consider. I'm not an internist, okay? However, I do know something about arthritis and inflammation, okay? Now, anytime there's an inflammatory process taking place, number one, with the fiber, anytime you increase your fiber, you also need to increase your water. That's key. Fiber and water go hand in hand because you need the water. The fiber is going to help push out. The water also helps so that it's not stuck. All right? So that's something to take into consideration. Also, you would have to look and see, do you have a history of taking a lot of antibiotics as well? What happens with a lot of individuals is that little micro tears start to form within the lining of the intestine, and so it creates what's known as leaky gut. So what's within the intestine can get outside into the bloodstream, all right? So something that would be very beneficial to you is soluble fibers also, like okra. Because what okra does is it is a fiber, but also you know how the okra is. Some people like it, some people don't, okay? But it actually helps to coat the lining of the intestines so it can ease that discomfort, number one, and you're also getting your fiber with that.
What's your reason for the severe pain?
Well, it's inflammation. It's inflamed. So anything that's inflamed is going to hurt. Inflammation means the tissue is no longer healthy. Healthy tissue doesn't hurt. Yes, sir?
Back on the respiratory part of this, like what if you just finished eating something and it's a little while after and you take a deep breath and a part of your chest starts to hurt? What is that?
Well, there's certain things that you have to look at. You have to see, is it happening every time you eat a meal? If you eat a meal and it doesn't happen, but then it happens after another meal, then more than likely, anytime you feel a pain in your chest, if it's a sharp pain, if it's a pain that can be pinpointed, it may be a rib, maybe out of its alignment. It may be a rib that's out of its alignment. Okay? So you would want to, because if it's on the chest, you want to, because you have to see if it's perhaps some type of, and you're young, I doubt if it's some type of ulcer, maybe the type of food that you're eating. So things like that is what you would have to look at, is does it happen after a meal? Every time after I eat a meal? If it's every time after you eat a meal, then more than likely it is something with the digestive tract. If it doesn't happen every time after a meal, but you just noticed it out of the clear flu, it may be a rib, it may even be gas. Yes, ma'am. You've been waiting for a while.
Okay, my question was about the adrenal gland. Two
Yes.
things. One, you said that it can be due to too many processed foods that have hormones. Does this mean that we have to limit our intake of processed foods, or?
What I'm saying is be wise consumers. Be wise consumers. We have options now with a lot of organic foods and so forth. Target has a lot of mixed. Okay, we're done. But I apologize. But we can definitely take it up at the beginning of the next class. So you can write those questions down and I'll answer it.
All right.
But just be a wise consumer. You have options out there. Thank you so much for your time.